Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. So I'm reading for Aquarius energy today, and I'm re-recording your reading because the first one had some uncomfortable stuff through that came through that I thought could be really triggering for some people. So I'm going to very briefly touch on it in the introduction in a hopefully non-triggering way. But if it's your message, I guess you'll understand. So what have I been getting through for you? So I was getting through for some of you, right, basically rewind. What I'm doing in this reading is opening up the channel and allowing one of your guides to come through. So it could be a very personal message. You've got to try and figure out who this is for you coming through, but there's going to be like identifiers, stuff that makes you think, oh, it's that person. But take what resonates and leave whatever doesn't, because it's for somebody else, right? In the last reading, there was this really mothering energy coming through with a lot of flowers, like lotus flowers and roses, but I don't know if that's going to come through again. I'm also kind of getting, oh, there's a big truck just going past. I may have to pause. We'll see. We'll see how noisy they are. For others of you, I'm kind of getting like childhood stuff. So I'm getting leapfrog. So a lot of stuff about frogs, and leapfrog, which is a game where you jump over the back of someone else. And they're telling me toadstools and tadpoles, which could be relevant to somebody. I'm going to kind of come back to that. I'll circle back around. And yeah, no, they're definitely giving me, sorry, I'm going to say it now because they're trying to make me say it. They're giving me life cycles. So I don't know if some of you maybe biologists, or maybe you're doing life cycles with your children, or there's this general theme of life and death, right? So if you think, because what they were giving me in the other reading was like frog spawn. So like frog spawn, it's making me feel quite sick. I don't know if someone's had this kind of reaction to it, which was one of the uncomfortable things that came through in the other reading. So frog spawn turns into tadpoles, turns into frogs, right? And the world goes round and round. But also there was something coming through about life and decay. So again, slight trigger warning, just skip ahead a minute if you're not into this, but there was something about bodies decaying and being returned to the earth, and the insects and the creatures that help with that. So I don't know, in the other reading it was like maybe someone had seen something that was very visceral, like something decomposing, and it could have been particularly triggering, possibly a squirrel. Could be talking about what you have to do in high school with frogs. And I'm going to kind of move swiftly on from there because it was a little bit uncomfortable in the reading, and I kind of felt like it brought this kind of cloud to the reading. The reading was actually a frog, by the way. You got the frog. So it was coming through this like, why does it always rain on me energy and things like this. The mothering energy at the end of that reading came through with the lily pad and the lotus flower, which of course, because I was getting stuff about swamps as well, like, you know, very stagnant water, stagnant places, the slipperiness of those kind of places. But of course, it's a really nice environment for certain things to prosper. So it's a really good environment for like flies and things to be birthed, and it's a really good place for frogs. And but this thing about the lotus flower blooming in stagnant places. So the lotus flower blooms in swampy places. So this could be talking about somebody's background, perhaps somebody comes from a not very nice background. But they bloom anyway. And there was something about like lilies, and maybe getting lilies and lotus flowers mixed up, by the way, but something about lilies and lotuses and like the lily pads. So it's like they not only thrive in these swampy conditions, or despite these swampy conditions, but they also provide the lily pad, which is like what the frog can jump on. So this leapfrog thing again, do you see how it's all kind of coming full circle, this circle thing? I don't know, again, it could be life cycles, but it keeps on kind of repeating. So it could also be talking about patterns of behavior from the past that keep repeating, you know, generational behavior that people, you know, repeat over generations within one family. So just watch out for that if it's a negative cycle, because you want to kind of, if you do what you've always done, you're going to get what you've always got. So you might want to try something different if it's not working for you. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so life cycles, leapfrog back to the children's games. So it was also they're telling me quite a lot of things. They're telling me leaf frog, and they're telling me leap leapfrog, and they're showing me a leap pad. So leapfrog and leap pad, I don't know if it's still going, but when my children were little, this was like a learning device. So it's like an iPad, but it's like for kids, like a little leapfrog, right? Leap pad, I can't remember, I don't know. But it's like they teach kids maths and things like this. So they're giving me quite a lot of information quite quickly, I'm sorry. And the other thing that I was getting, if I can get away from frogs, maybe somebody's really, you know, when you get a kid and they get really into something. My daughter loves snakes, like, and they just want to talk about it all the time. Somebody could have a kid who's like obsessed with frogs, right? There's also a time with Taurus's reading, which again came through with mother energy. So you might want to go and check out Taurus. If frogs and mothers are particularly a thing, especially if you had a mother with problems, and maybe she was a Taurus, I don't know, go and check that out. The other thing, if I can move on from the frogs, what is that? It's like this going back to frogs behavior. The other thing that I was getting was jumping jacks. So jumping jacks, if you don't know what these are, it's a game like marbles. It's an old-fashioned game, and you get these little what are called jacks, these little metal things, and you a bit like Pogs, if anyone remembers Pogs. They trended in like the 90s, but you throw the jumping jack down, and if I think you have like a circle, and if the jacks jump out of the circle, you get the jacks. So it's like who can get the most jacks is my vague memory of how that game works. I could be wrong. But again, this thing about frogs leaping, like leaping and jumping jacks, right? So there's something about jumping and leaping. Quantum leap, they're telling me, for somebody. That could be relevant. Maybe somebody really likes quantum leap. Your cards today, I'm getting this real feeling of like longing. It's kind of bittersweet. It's kind of like, you know, when you really like someone but you can't tell them. And I've actually just been watching a show on Netflix called Heartstopper, just the opening like 5 or 10 minutes. But that feeling of like, I don't know, like really liking someone but kind of keeping it to yourself, or feeling like, I don't know, because the star is coming through as like dreams and wishes, right? Desires, hopes, dreams, wishes. It's also healing. And the hangman is kind of like, he's all tied up, right? He can't move right now. So there's a kind of a patience energy to the hangman, a kind of waiting around energy. But he's kind of looking over here. So it's like, I don't know, he's looking at his wishes. So there's this like longing that's coming through with this. I don't know. It's like, it feels very bittersweet, right? Okay, so who would like to come through for Aquarius, please? Who would like to come through for Aquarius? Turtle. Again, this kind of like in the water animal. Vulture on the bottom. I feel like they didn't get this specific card, but Capricorn yesterday got Vulture from a different deck, from this deck. So if you are on the cusp or you're dealing with a Capricorn, maybe go and watch their reading. The message of the vulture, the message of the vulture is like nothing's wasted. Nothing's wasted, nothing's gained. I don't know, but it's like everything's used, right? Every part of the animal is used. You know, if you look at ancient cultures, the vulture, again, right, I'm so sorry that this is coming up in your reading, because again, the reading that I'm not putting up, it had a huge tie-in with Capricorn's reading, similar to how Libra and Scorpio were talking to each other this week. You and Capricorn seem to have this narrative going on between you. So I don't know if some of you have been dealing with grief, or maybe you've just been a little bit morbid about your thoughts recently. I keep getting the death card out like constantly. So huge trigger warning. And again, I didn't want to talk about it, but it's coming out again. There's something for somebody about dealing with their feelings or the thoughts around death, and I mean physical death, right? Like death in nature. So if you look at the vulture's job is actually, he's the cleanup crew, right? So he goes in to make sure there's this, I don't know what's coming through, and I'm really, really uncomfortable talking about it, because I think people do feel naturally uncomfortable talking about it. But at the same time, if it's coming through in both readings for you, Aquarius, I feel like somebody really needs possibly to talk about it. If they're, you know, if this is on the mind and it's like, I don't feel like it's appropriate to talk about this, or like I have to open that gate, right? I have to open that gate to allow this discussion, or I need to be able to acknowledge the feelings that one of you watching is going to be going through. So please skip ahead a couple of minutes if you're uncomfortable with this. I feel quite sick about it as well, but it's like there's something about the acceptance of all things. So people see vultures as really scary, right? But they're actually doing a really, really important job in nature, because they go in and they pick the bones clean, right? So if they didn't do that, and if you didn't have other animals that break down and decompose a body, it's it's like they're doing a really important job in nature, because they're breaking it down and returning it to the earth, right? And they're also stopping it's like this something about like decay, or like speeding up the process of decay. I was actually getting the word decay last night. So it's like the stopping things from like necessarily rotting. If I flip this on its head as well, and again, it's such a gross conversation, and I'm so sorry, it's coming through with a real sick feeling. If you look at maggots, you know, they're quite a disgusting animal in a lot of ways, but there's a place for them in nature. They can actually do a lot. So I was watching this documentary once about alternative medicine, and I'm not again recommending anyone do this, but you know, without medical supervision. But there is some people who, like specifically, there was a man who had a flesh wound on his leg, and it was the flesh was quite rotten, and the antibiotics they were using, the steroid creams that they were using, nothing was working, because it's like it was almost like a flesh eating bacteria. It was kind of like a super bug. It was you know, it wasn't responding to the treatment. It kind of like become resistant to it. So what they were doing was this alternative medicine, where they'd put like a gauze across the wound, and they were actually, and this is super gross, so again, skip ahead if this is going to disturb you, but they actually put maggots on like they had a separation, right? They had this gauze separating them, but they put maggots in it, and they put like bandages over it, and the maggots ate the dead flesh and actually helped the wound to heal. It was quite a pioneering, disgusting but pioneering treatment. It's almost like going back to like leeches in the Middle Ages, right? I'm sorry, my phone's really pinging back there. I don't know what it's pinging for. But again, I feel uncomfortable talking about this. It's not what I want to be talking about in a reading, but it's coming through again. So it's in somebody's mind, right? It needs to be spoken about. And so yeah, it's like every animal not necessarily being inherently bad, but having a place in nature where it's actually doing a job, you know? So and having environments as well, like swampy environments, which are very unpleasant to be around if you're not, you know, native to that environment, and yet that environment is serving a purpose to allow certain animals to, you know, multiply so that they can go out and do the jobs. So what am I trying to get to with this? I had another example. It's probably like, no, that's enough. Right, okay, let's put the vulture away. Turtle. So this is who's coming through for you. Could be Cancerian energy, doesn't have to be. Could be a water sign, doesn't have to be. The turtle for me is quite a secretive energy. It's because it's in this darkness, it's like hiding away, right? It's trying to like sneak around, you know, it's like trying to remain hidden. So, but it's also, you know, it tries to protect itself. It kind of goes in on its shell. It looks actually like a terrapin to me. I don't know. Yeah, it goes in like it's got a defense mechanism, right? It's got its armor. So this could be somebody who was a little bit defensive, a little bit self-protective, perhaps. There's something about riding on the back as well. So there's different things for different people. Take what resonates, leave whatever doesn't. So sometimes I get that you know, finding Nemo, going with the flow, like, dude, energy from the turtles. Moving home, this could be somebody who moved home a lot. I watched this video, I think it was like one of these dodo videos or something, and it was a a turtle had accidentally gone on its back. Oh my gosh, Byron, shush. A turtle had accidentally gone on its back, and it was like floundering around. It couldn't flip itself back over. And the splashing that it was making, the kind of commotion it was making, all the turtles around it, like it got their attention and they came over and they actually flipped the turtle back over. So I don't know if they were intending to help or they were just drawn to the commotion or what was going on, but it seemed in the video like these turtles were helping each other out, right? When a turtle was in distress, the other turtles would respond. So it could be something about social intelligence as well coming through. I'm actually going to get you a starseed oracle as well. Now, I haven't necessarily done this for everybody, but with you being the star card, I was feeling starseed. So let's just see what comes out from this as well. So tell me more, please. A message for Aquarius's reading. Message for Aquarius's reading. I guess not yet. We'll keep that handy. So what was your relationship to this person? So what was your relationship to the turtle? Whoa. Oh my goodness, look how that landed. Wow. Wow. Okay, so I'm going to read, you've got milk and honey there on the underline in case anyone needs to see that. So I'm going to read by the book because this is the one that's presented itself. So I'm not going to read, I might have to turn my phone off. I don't know if you can hear that. It's number 11. If any of you watch out for 11s, elephants may be particularly significant as well. Again, another social animal. This is my mum's little brooch. I was actually drawn to it at the start of the reading and I didn't acknowledge it and I wish I did now. How the turtles kind of gather together, you know, they work as a team to kind of support each other. Elephants also do the same. So if you look at when there's predators around, the baby elephants will be pushed into the center of a group of elephants and the mums will kind of like form a ring around them and then the bulls go around the outside. So they have this like this social support network going on, which is typical of Cancerian energy, so definitely interesting. Let's see what else you've got. So your relationship to this person, flexible. Could be like flexible parenting, right? Or flexible, like something about flexibility in a family, and unfinished symphony as well. Maybe you feel like you've still got things left to do, things were left unfinished with this person. Let's read by the book. Getting along with others entails understanding and respecting who they have become as a result of their environment. Exactly, the environment, right? The swamp, the swamp and the lilies, or the swamp and the lotus flowers. Like some people thrive in despite difficult environments, right? So, but perhaps this is like learning to understand what this person went through, what their background was, why they were or are the way that they are, because this could be somebody's higher self. Getting along with others entails understanding and respecting who they have become as a result of their environment, culture, and experience. Find the middle ground that allows the relationship to flourish while honouring the individuality of the other person. Play things by the book instead of trying to break the rules or pressure others to conform to the way that you want to do them. Your connection will deepen as a result. So if this was like a parent, they could have been very by the book, or they could have been a very flexible kind of parent. Maybe it could go either way. It could be like one of you were very by the book and one of you were very, very flexible and kind of liberal with the parenting style. I am getting parenting, I think, because of the elephants, like the little baby elephant, but not necessarily. Yeah, it does have a feeling there's something left unfinished. You've got 2 eggs here as well. Again, this could be parenting. Eggs came through quite strongly in the last reading. You had like a snake with eggs, and I was getting like frog spawn and caviar and fish eggs and this kind of thing. So eggs could be particularly significant. Tell me about by the book. Okay. Son of Pentacles, so you could have been this person's son, they could have been your son. Son of Pentacles. Deers came through really, really strongly for off camera for Capricorn in kind of like the pre-reading. I got all four of the family of Pentacles, so 4 deer. Son of Pentacles. So the Son of Pentacles is a very step-by-step energy. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to do something about my phone, just a second. There we go. I've turned my notification sounds down now, but hopefully I don't miss anything important. Right, Son of Pentacles. So yeah, this is a very, very step-by-step energy. It is a very one foot in front of the other energy. It's somebody who's a bit of a perfectionist. They like to take things slowly. They like to do things right. So they may take more time to do something because they're really paying attention to the details, right? So it's a slow-moving but a dependable energy. I am getting a real why does it always rain on me energy. In fact, the song played for me. I channeled it in Aquarius's reading, the original reading, and then it played for me. So yeah, you could have somebody who perhaps has been dealing with a little bit of depression, perhaps, or just is a generally, you know, a generally kind of gloomy person. Sometimes people can just be gloomy people. It's like who they are, right? And it's not necessarily, if they're comfortable with that, if that's their natural state, is it really up to us to, we shouldn't try and fix that, right? It's not necessarily that that person's broken in any sort of way. They just may have a gloomy personality. Obviously, if somebody's depressed or, you know, they need help, then that's one thing. But if somebody's just a bit of an Eeyore, then why, you know, that just may be their temperament. And if they're not bothered about that, then we shouldn't try and change that. There could be a message in that for somebody. Okay. Yeah, I was showing you the frog because that's the card that came out the first time. Okay, what's the message, please, from the turtle? Can we have a message from Starseed yet? Nope, not yet. Okay, what's the message from the turtle, please? What's the message from the turtle? What's the message from the turtle, please? A lot of watery animals. Bring your ideas to life. 24 could be a significant number. What have we got? 11, 19, 10, 24. Bring your ideas to life. So this is the message from whoever the spirit guide is for you. Seemingly out of nowhere, the jolt of electric eel spirit appears to awaken you to a big idea that you are meant to explore. Epiphanies and aha moments are gifted to you right now, so celebrate. Your life has the potential for profound transformation. Inspiration arises in you. That was my foot on the chair, by the way, if you heard that. Inspiration arises in you, electrifying you so you can't wait to get started bringing your idea to life. The revelations you experience now are meant to set you on a new path, so don't be afraid to act. Explore, examine, do not fear the changes that may come. The Spirit wants to shower you with love, success, and abundance that you hope to experience. Now is a thrilling time of epiphanies, inspired ideas, and innovations. This is a wondrous sign for you today. So feeling electrified, feeling invigorated, feeling passionate and creative and excited. So something will hopefully trigger this in you. And it may just be saying, don't be afraid of going for the things that do excite you, right? Let yourself be excited. What do we have, please? Can you clarify this? Wow, okay. You've been manifesting something. That is mega manifestation energy. Yeah, you've been manifesting something really passionate and creative and fun. So the Ace of Wands is like a new idea, something that you're really passionate about. Aces are always something new, right? Or a new injection in something. So it's like they're telling me, you know, like sometimes if you've got like a deficiency like of iron or like the B vitamins, you can get like the B vitamin injections. Obviously, if your doctor recommends that, but it's like getting your B vitamin injection and like being revitalized is the way they're telling me. It's funny. So like, yeah, maybe being quite tired, feeling like you're being quite slow, quite sluggish. I don't have the injections. My dad does, but I get low on iron quite regularly because of girl things, right? So I do take iron supplements and folic acid and things like that. So when I'm low on iron, I can really tell because I get really tired and like sluggish. Yeah, and when I top it back up again, I can really see the difference in my energy. But it feels like that. But it's more like, rather than it being, I mean, maybe for some of you, it's like a B vitamin injection, I don't know. But for others of you, it's like, it's just like an inspired idea or like a light bulb moment or a, you know, suddenly being like, maybe even seeing something on TV and being like, oh, I would love to do that. I'd love to go mountain climbing. I'd love to go skiing. I'd love to go surfing. I'd love to go leapfrogging. I don't know. But then it's like, oh, I really want to do that now. It's like, go for it. But I feel like whatever this is, whatever this exciting thing is for you, you have been manifesting it, because that is mega manifestation energy. That is going within, doing the soul searching, and notice the turtles again, figuring out what you want, right? Speaking to spirit, speaking to your higher self, not looking outside for answers, not asking other people what they think you should do, but really knowing deep down what your truth is, because you spent time with yourself figuring that out. So some of you could have been doing shadow work as well. And then the magician he has all the tools at his disposal to make something happen. And it's like you've been waiting for the wand, is kind of how it feels. It's like maybe you had the pentacles, maybe you had the sword, maybe you had the cup, but it's like you were waiting for the idea, or you were waiting for the opportunity, or you were waiting for it's like the last puzzle piece to click into place. And then it's like, then you look forward. I kind of want to put them this way around. It's like, then you look forward, then you're thinking about the future, then you're excited. So it's like turning around from this very Cancerian, I don't know if somebody has Cancerian placements, but this energy, and this is Virgo as well, but like this energy of like looking back in the past, right? Remembering the past, because the elephants remember the past, right? Doing that soul searching, figuring things out, thinking about, why do I act the way that I do based on the environment that I was raised in. I think a lot of people have been doing this as well. I've been talking to a few different people from a few different places that I kind of hang out, and there's been a lot of this kind of looking back at our childhood, understanding how our childhood or our upbringing or our parents' parenting technique had an impact on us, understanding that some of the decisions we make, some of the behaviors we exhibit are part of that upbringing, right? It's the way we were shown to act sometimes, or the way we were programmed to act in response to certain factors. So I think a lot of us have been figuring this out and being like, oh, maybe I can do something a bit different here, maybe I can try something new. So that is kind of how that feels to me. It's like, go with it. It's like it is a divinely inspired idea. It is coming to you from above, right? It is a gifted idea, because the aces are always divinely guided, divinely gifted. It's like divine inspiration. So how can this energy, this spirit guide of yours, how can they help you? How can they help you? How can you embody their energy? What traits can they help you out with? Thank you. So these are angel cards. They depict angels or deities from different religions. You don't have to be from that religion for this to resonate. It's just that this person could have embodied these sorts of things, or that this is something that they can help you out with now, right? Doesn't make any sense. St. Francis, animal communication, activism, and service. So he has that deer again. You know, we've got the deer over here, and he's got a deer on his arm. Maybe this person had a deer tattoo. There's a dove here. What's going on here? This is like, there's like a little teeny tiny mouse, and then I think this is like a fox or a wolf. I thought it was a bear at first. Plant powered, he's got a little piggy and a little avocado. Okay, let's have a read. So this person can help you with this. St. Francis. Could have Irish connections. St. Francis, or Francis of Assisi, which I think is France, is the patron saint of animals and the environment. Born into a wealthy family, he became disillusioned with the injustices of the world, gave all his worldly possessions away, and not suggesting anyone do that, right? Be sensible, and devoted himself to a life of solitude, which is here with this hermit energy, again, Virgo energy. The magician's also Virgo energy and Gemini, so you've got 3 Virgo cards here. He gave all his worldly possessions away and devoted himself to a life of solitude, prayer and service, healing the sick, helping the poor and tending to animals. It is said that St. Francis could speak with the animals, that he talked a wolf down from a mountain to protect the local sheep. And that's interesting, isn't it? He talked a wolf down from a mountain to protect the local sheep. Interesting. And that he would preach to the birds. St. Francis may be a powerful ally for you if you want to communicate and connect with animals on a deeper level, or if you are involved in activism or service work of any kind. I'm just fascinated by that wolf protecting the sheep, because it's such a flip and reverse, right? Normally you protect the sheep from the wolf, but in this case the wolf is the protector of the sheep. So There's something really, there's something about that that's like, it's like there's more to that, and I'm not quite, again, it's kind of making me think of Capricorn's reading where they had this devil energy, right? Yeah, no, I'm understanding the message. Sorry, it took me a minute to get there. The devil card is Capricorn in the tarot, and I remember looking at this card, trying to tap into Capricorn's energy and being like, there's something not right about this devil. It's like the devil card itself isn't depicting the energy that I'm getting from it. It's like it should be a different image. And just with the stuff that's been coming through for you about understanding the role that certain animals play in nature, like animals that we associate with bad things, maybe we don't fully understand the purpose of those animals. So it's like and this thing as well that came through about understanding the environment that somebody came from, understanding the background of somebody, this thing about the swampy environment. It's like understanding that people are products of their environment to a certain extent. Yes, we may have like an inherent personality, but we also will behave certain ways because that's how we've navigated through life as it's been presented to us. So we have like adopted behaviors, and these can be broken and these can be changed, I want to say. So it's like I'm specifically hearing the devil in sheep's clothing, right? But it's like, I know that's a twist on the old saying, but that's how I'm hearing it. It's like people disguising the true nature, or people's nature being misunderstood, or giving people, perhaps with the wolf protecting the sheep, it's something about giving people the opportunity to still continue to use their natural talents and abilities, but in a different way to how they would have used them in the past. It's like adapting instead. I don't know, how could it be? It could be like, right, a really random example. It's like somebody who used to get into fights a lot, used to get into scraps a lot when they were younger. Maybe they went to jail, right? And then it's like, as they got older, they learned self-control, but they could still stand up for themselves, and they were still kind of, like they learned from the mistakes, they had that self-control, but they still had that kind of scrappy nature. They might be a really good bouncer, like a really good doorman or a really good bodyguard. It's like taking the same natural personality but applying it in a different context. I don't know if that was the best example, but that's the example that popped into my head. Right, the oracle: stand up for what you believe in and do what you know is right in your heart. Right, so again, this thing about looking within. Call on St. Francis for assistance with communicating with animals. I'm going to tell you the story that I told in my other reading, but I'll do it right at the end of the video. Communicating with animals, animal healing, pets, lost animals, sick animals, adopting animals, environmental activism, transitioning to a more plant-based diet. Embody the energy of St. Francis, or whoever this guide is for you, by seeing God in all things, especially in the natural world around you. Do you know what, guys? I love it. I love it when I'm like, do you know what? I got that message bang on. I was so worried about delivering it. I was so worried about talking about maggots and, these kind of gross things and decomposing. And I was like, oh, what am I channeling? But then it's like, it's here, it's actually here. Like, I can't make that up. So seeing God in all things, especially in the natural world around you, showing love and compassion to animals, and all animals, right? Speaking with the animals and listening to their wisdom, hey? Doing your part to help the planet, I'm sorry, it's not focusing, to help the planet recycle, minimize food waste, eat more plants, use non-toxic products, become an activist for what you believe in. Okay, so I'll tell you when I'm about to talk about gross things. I'll warn you. Ten of Pentacles. So establishing, using your resources wisely. Very similar message to what Capricorn got, because they got the vulture clarified by the Ten of Pentacles. It's like understanding is like not being wasteful. So it could definitely be talking about your diet, or you know, your consumerism in some sort of way. It's like thinking about the planet and thinking about, you know, the impact that you have on the planet, your carbon footprint. So some of you may be wanting to, I don't know, eat more local and eat in season to reduce the carbon footprint of your food intake. Others of you may want to grow your own food. I know it's talking about animals a lot, but you know, becoming vegan also has an effect on animals and the environment. Interesting, he's got this little avocado as well on his top, because you know, a lot of people, especially like vegans, you know, avocado is quite a staple of that diet and lifestyle at the moment, and yet eating avocados has a huge environmental impact. Like, just got showing off my avocado plants to the Capricorns yesterday. Look at this baby, is doing so well. I don't think it's going to grow me any avocados, and yet it's you know, it's a nice leafy plant and it's bringing oxygen to my environment. So you know, I didn't throw those avocado seeds away. I was like, do you know what, I'm going to have a go at planting them, and some of them are doing really well. So I don't know, some kind of message in there for you with that. I feel like you could be very, very passionate about whatever this is as well. Okay, so are we going to get a starseed, or are we not going to get a starseed? And then I'm going to talk about gross things. Do you have a message from the Starseed Oracle? Because you are the Star card. I feel like I've got a slight American accent in your reading today. I don't know what that's about. Called Soul Gifts and Training, It's Time to Step Up. Yeah, I feel like you're going to know. You're going to know. If you don't know now, you're going to know soon what it is you're meant to be doing. Okay. Okay, for those of you who are leaving the reading here, I hope you have a brilliant day. Do take care of yourselves, nurture your body, take really good care of yourselves. If you don't have the answers now, just spend some time meditating or spending some time on your own and really like digging deep and figuring those things out for yourself. And then you're going to have this epiphany and it's going to be great. So it's going to take some time though, right? You have to do the work. You have to do the work. You have to take your dreams and actually do practical things to make them a reality. This is the thing about the magician. He doesn't just dream things into existence. He puts them in action. He applies the resources to make the dreams come true. And this is talking about be careful with your resources, right? Use your resources wisely. So you're going to be fine, Caps. Do take care of yourselves. I will see you again soon. For those of you who have strong stomachs and want to stick around for this. So for what came through, and I'm glad I redid the reading because I feel like I've understood it better. I feel like I've explained it better. I feel like it hasn't come in sort of mid-reading in quite such a shocking way. I've kind of been a little bit more prepared for it. So I am happy I've re-recorded. The only difference I'd say with the last reading is you had a lot of really feminine cards. So let me just find what some of these cards that were coming through for you as I'm talking. So this story that I ended up telling in the other reading, sort of midway through the reading, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about this, I was out for a walk. I think it was like Monday or Tuesday, I think it was. I was out for a walk and I was walking around this wooded area. It's kind of like I was walking on like around the roads around the wooded area, and I just came across this dead squirrel. It was in the gutter, you know, just off the edge of the pavement, lying on its back. This poor, like a good fat squirrel. It had clearly been well nourished in its life, like anything, a big fluffy thing. I stopped and I looked at it, and I must have been stood there looking at it for about a minute because I was like, it just feels so inappropriate. I saw it, walked a few steps up the pavement and came back to it, and I was looking at it and I was like, I just feel like I want to move it. I don't want to leave it there like on the edge of the road or vulnerable. Like I was like, I really want to like pick it up and put it in some woodland because I was quite close to like a wooded area and some gardens. Well, I won't put it in someone's garden, but you know, like wooded area, like bushes and things like that. And I just really wanted to move it, but it was a really sunny day, and I just had like, I didn't have anything I could move it with. So, you know, if I'd have had like a scruffy shirt on or something, maybe I could have used that to kind of move it. But I didn't, like, I was like, basically I was stood there and I was weighing up, right, do I find something like a big leaf or something to pick it up with? Do I just go for it and pick it up with my hands and like find somewhere to wash my hands straight after? But I was just, this urge to move the squirrel and put it into a better place was so strong for me. And I was like on the verge of doing it. And then I thought, but what if it's full of, like, what if it's rotted on the inside? What if it's like swollen with gas? What if, I know it's really gross, right? I told you, trigger warning. Like, what if it pops? And like, what if it's got maggots in it? And I was just like, I just couldn't do it. I was like, I can't do it. Like, not without something, you know, something between my hands and the squirrel. And I had to leave it. And it's like, I felt so, not guilty, but like I felt so bad leaving it. I felt so like I hadn't accomplished my mission walking away from it. And it was just horrible. It was I don't know, I wanted to help the squirrel. I wanted to give it a more respectful burial. So I don't know if that's, again, in the last reading I was kind of thinking maybe somebody's had a similar experience of coming across coming across a dead animal and, you know, seeing it and it being very, very visceral for somebody. Yeah, here we go. So these are the cards that were coming through in your last reading. I don't know if somebody like looks like this for you. You know, maybe somebody has this colouring. You know, they have similar hair and skin colour. Obviously different backgrounds, but similar colouring. So yeah, maybe this reminds you of some